Space Mountain, a gleaming beacon representing an idealized world of tomorrow, which was designed with help from astronaut Gordon Cooper and serves as the ultimate thrill of the Magic Kingdom and a plot point in an episode of The Golden Girls. No, I'm not making that up, it's Season 4, Episode 16. This attraction has seemingly grown its own legs and began running to become one of the most iconic roller coasters in all of theme park history. But whilst many are experiencing the thrills that the mountain has to offer, even more are missing the incredible secrets, history, and even the story that has the potential to make you the ultimate Space Mountain trivia king on your next visit to the Magic Kingdom, where you can tell people that the stars are literally just lights blasted onto large disco balls. Welcome to your virtual guided tour, presented by ReviewTyme. My name is Dominic and I will be your host today as we explore the ins and outs of Space Mountain at the Magic Kingdom in Walt Disney World. We begin our tour in Tomorrowland, the home of Space Mountain. This land over the years has seen multiple changes where it originated as an idealistic modern interpretation of tomorrow, to gradually embrace a more retro-futuristic approach to the future, which has ultimately been proven as more timeless and solves the problem of tomorrow eventually arriving to become today. From the hub of the Magic Kingdom, the area in front of the castle, Space Mountain is relatively hard to see. But once you make your way through Tomorrowland, you're introduced to the incredible gleaming white cone that dominates the horizon of the eastern side of the park. Surprisingly, the iconic design of Space Mountain is entirely practical. Originally, it was intended to be a smooth cone, and the supports, which you see on the outside, would be on the inside. But they realized that for any stars or projections to work, they needed a smooth surface as the interior, so they moved the support pillars to the outside, which is why the mountain looks the way it does to this day. The spires on the top of the mountain also serve as lightning rods. It wasn't long after Disneyland opened in 1955 that Disney legend John Hench would conceptualize the attraction in the early 60s as Spaceport. And surprisingly, there was interest from Walt Disney himself after his faith in thrill rides was escalated by the well-received reception of the Matterhorn roller coaster at Disneyland. Originally, John Hench conceptualized for the ride to go in and out of the mountain, much like the Matterhorn, but Walt Disney protested, saying that by having it completely indoors, it would make it easier to control lighting and projections. But unfortunately, the technology of the time just wasn't enough for the complex Spaceport coaster. Eventually though, technology would catch up, and the Magic Kingdom was desperate for a thrill ride thanks to Walt Disney World's popularity and the high attendance of teens and young adults. The construction of the Space Mountain complex, which included an arcade and amphitheater, was built in 1975 for $18 million. To put that into comparison, it cost Disney more than the entirety of Disneyland, which opened just 20 years earlier for $17 million. As you approach the entrance of the attraction, you'll find that to the left of you is a rather interesting building. This is the Tomorrowland Light and Power Co., and in the present day it serves as Space Mountain's gift shop at the exit of the attraction. But originally, when it opened, it was an arcade filled with classic games from the time. Walking past the ride's namesake sign, which used to include a rocket full of astronauts above it, you find yourself at the entrance of the mountain. Entering the attraction, you are transported out of the Magic Kingdom and inside Starport 7-5, the gateway to the galaxies, and home to Tomorrowland Station, which is known as Tomorrowland Station Mark I. Our journey begins here as we're introduced to the premise of the attraction. Basically, Space Mountain serves as an intergalactic airport using the new mode of rocket transportation to fly you through space to arrive at your destinations. A list of which can be found near the entrance as an Easter egg and includes all the other Space Mountains from around the world, including Hong Kong's HK Spaceport e-ticket and Paris's Discovery Landing Station in Paris. Also, you know you're in space because beneath you, for whatever reason, is a ball pit that you cannot access. Taking a ramp or stairs down the concourse and deeper into the mountain will take you through the Star Tunnel, where distorted windows give the illusion that you're zooming through space, followed by another room which includes star maps showcasing the various space lanes of the star system. Interestingly, at this point, you're not moving through space, but you're actually traveling underneath the Magic Kingdom rail line, which goes directly above the Space Mountain queue and is the reason why you need to head down as you enter the queue. Further along, you come across what is now a dark, zigzagging hallway filled with screens of stars on the left-hand side and windows into the stars showcasing various space activities like a rocket soaring through the solar system, astronauts on a spacewalk, and a view of Earth. If you peer right down into these windows on the right-hand side, you can actually see some of the dioramas below from the exit, which is directly beneath the queue. At one point, the left-hand side of this hallway had an interactive game where you could play against other guests in the queue, but this element has since been superseded by the Disney player. The interactive elements were likely removed due to congestion within this area, and it's more efficient for people to enjoy the experience on their phone, which they can take with them further along. Leaving this hallway, you find yourself in the main loading area for the attraction, and you'll notice that there are two sides, each with their own individual tracks. For increased throughput and efficiency, Space Mountain at the Magic Kingdom is actually two separate roller coasters, with one being known as Omega and the other being Alpha. Observant guests will notice that the layout and design of the tracks is very similar to that of the Matterhorn at Disneyland in California, and if you really want to maximize your ride time, the Alpha side is 10 feet longer than the Omega side. If you look up at this point, you'll notice a ceiling. Ceilings are common in many rooms, but this ceiling used to not exist, and you could look up into the mountain to watch the roller coaster in motion. This ceiling was added in 2009 to make the attraction darker, but they've added several projection effects on the dark roof to give the illusion that you're in space. You're now ready to board your rocket, but you'll notice that they're empty. Where are the previous riders? They're actually directly beneath you in the unload. Space Mountain has a lot of levels, but there are two guest accessible ones. The top level is for loading and the bottom is for unloading, and the rockets travel through a short lift hill backstage to get up to where guests get into their rockets. After boarding, guests go through a brief couple of safety checks with their harnesses, and then just before they enter the actual ride, their rocket is weighed so that the onboard computer controlling the mountain can roughly estimate the amount of force required when applying the brakes throughout the ride, to ensure that there are no collisions between ride vehicles. Fittingly for Tomorrowland, Space Mountain was the first attraction to implement computer-based automation to control a roller coaster. It's able to track the vehicles and their velocities to ensure that they don't catch up to each other, and that at each time only one train is present in each block section, which is separated by brake runs. The attraction was designed cleverly so that if it was to go down, which it regularly does, each brake run could merely stop the vehicles, and then one by one cast members would push them down the mountain, starting from the bottom and ending with the top. Also, if you ever notice it's broken down, immediately stop whatever you're doing and run for the People Mover for a chance to see Space Mountain with the lights on. The story for the ride itself is very simple. After you leave the Alpha Omega launch bay, you enter a super space tunnel which infuses your rocket with energy before you're brought to the launch dock outside Spaceport 75. Outside, astronauts are repairing the CMB-2000 rocket, which is docked in the space station, and flanking you are very basic animatronics and statues who appear to be facilitating the launch. You then journey around space doing neat space things like avoiding asteroids and observing galaxies on one of the slowest thrill rides on all of Walt Disney World property at a top speed of 30 miles per hour. To put that into comparison, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train has a top speed of 34 miles per hour, Splash Mountain goes up to 45 miles per hour, and Big Thunder Mountain is 35 miles per hour. For curiosity's sake, the fastest ride on property is 64.9 miles per hour, which is test track, and the slowest roller coaster is the Barnstormer, which is solely dedicated as a children's experience at just 5 miles per hour under Space Mountain with a top speed of 25. Space Mountain merely feels faster than it is because you have no frame of reference due to the darkness combined with the spinning lights from the stars. Eventually, after soaring through the roller coaster, you're captured out of that darkness by a red wormhole tunnel which returns you to Earth, where your space voyage finishes in a departure station. But your journey doesn't end there. After going past the ride photo, which always catches you off guard, you exit through what is basically baggage claim and futuristic advertisements, which is exactly what you'd expect when landing at a space airport. Getting back to Tomorrowland is a rather long walk because you essentially need to backtrack all the way through the queue, which is right above you. Thankfully, there are several dioramas advertising unique places to go around the solar system, with nods to the now defunct attraction Horizons, which used to be at Epcot, such as a diorama showcasing a luxurious hotel with a robot butler in Constellations, the City of the Stars. In true Disney fashion, you then exit through a gift shop full of Space Mountain and Marvel goodies. Though I should just point out that before you get to the gift shop, you're above another ball pit for some reason. I don't know why Space Mountain has lots of ball pits, but with its technology and innovation, Space Mountain ushered in a new era of coasters and is easily the most iconic roller coaster of all time. Millions upon millions have experienced this timeless attraction, and whilst the Space Mountain journey started here, it definitely didn't end here. And for the next part, we need to head to Anaheim. But that's a tour for another day. From the home for all things theme parks, I'm Dominic from ReviewTyme. Thanks for watching.